Hey, what's up, everybody? Cam Hemphill here, your host of the Medical Millionaire Podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. My goal is to give incredible value and insight for practice owners. If you're looking to grow your practice, scale, sell, grow your patient base, understand mindset, your numbers, your KPIs, your metrics, the marketing, everything that it takes to be a very successful practice owner, all of these episodes are designed for you and to help you elevate. So, today, I have an incredible guest on. She has a massive social media following. In fact, she will be on a panel in 2 weeks at the WIN, the AmSpa conference, speaking about how to grow your brand with AI and social media. She has an incredible practice out of the St. Louis area. And, she is known for creating timeless artistry, right? Nothing that is trending. It's all about timeless. She owns Forward Regenerative Aesthetics. I want to welcome Molly Bailey to the show. Molly, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. That was quite an
So,
intro.
you like how that just came off the cuff there, huh?
Yeah, that was great.
Well, hey, we were just talking offline. We were talking a little bit about your journey, where you're from, what you do. But I think for the audience here, for the individuals that are tuning in, take us back. Talk to us a little bit about your story. I know that you worked for a plastic surgeon early on.
Mhm,
You're a provider. Now, obviously, you're a founder, an operator. Walk us through
mhm.
that.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I've been in the aesthetic space for about 15 years. Um, so I finished college and I knew I was going to PA school. I needed clinical experience. So I started working in the emergency room as a tech, a patient tech on overnights. And I was miserable and I hated every second of it. And I actually, this is going to date me, but I was looking for jobs on Craigslist
Oh,
and I came across this medical assistant job for at the time, he wasn't as well known as he is now, but now he's like world famous. Um, and he needed a medical assistant to cover his MA that was going on maternity leave. And I just applied. I was like, this would be great, but I'll probably be stuck in the ER. And I got the job, and it was amazing. It was kind of like it was aesthetic university. I would follow him around basically all day. I was in recovery with him, with his patients, so I learned all about the plastic side, the surgical side, and then I would follow him around his office hours when he was doing injections and consultations. And so I just was immersed in aesthetics and plastic surgery, and I just fell in love with it, and it was awesome. And I loved going to work every day. Um, so I went to PA school, and that was always the goal. I worked there for like maybe a year or so. I ended up staying like long after the MA came back from maternity leave and finally got into school, went to PA school, and then about 2 weeks before I graduated, I said to the doctor, like, I want to come back. Can I come back? But this time as an injector, as an aesthetic provider. And so he let me come back, and then again, it was like another whole university learning how to be an actual provider. So it was just a really incredible way to kind of get into things, and that's all I've ever done now. So when I got out of PA school, I went right back into plastics and learned how to inject, and yeah, the rest is like kind of history. I worked there for a while, and then I got married and had kids, and went super part time and was working at just like a med spa in town.
hmm.
And I did that for a long time, and then finally was like, you know what, I can do this on my own. Like I don't need this all set up for me. I can do this on my own. And that's really when the social media thing started to grow, and I was bringing lots of patients in just off on my own efforts of marketing with Bailey's Bougie, my Instagram. So that's really when things were like, you know what, I can do this. I don't need someone to bring patients in. I'm bringing all these people in. I'm kind of doing all the hard work and not really making the lion's share. So I opened Face Forward 3 years ago, and then opened this brick and mortar a year ago, and here we are. So yeah,
Okay.
it's been a long one. That was the really
Amazing.
abridged version. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll get into more. We'll unpack more of that. I think it's an incredible story. You know, someone that goes to school, goes and works underneath somebody that understands the industry. You obviously gain all the knowledge, go to work
Mhm.
for another medical aesthetics practice, and then realize, wow, you know what? I have tremendous value here. I
Mhm.
actually am the marketer, right? You're the
Mhm.
marketer. And so for the audience, you guys, you know, it's kind of interesting the power of social, the power of
Yeah.
networking, the power of creation online. What Molly has done is she's put herself into a position to say, wait a minute, I'm probably driving more patients from my personal brand
Mhm.
than perhaps what the practice is actually doing, right? So there's
Yeah.
this decision you have to make.
Mhm.
Well, which brings me to my next question. Not all providers are entrepreneurs,
No.
right?
No.
So you had to make that, you know, you had to make that agreement with yourself. Okay, I'm going to go out on my own. I want the lion's share, as you say.
Mhm.
But that also comes with like a building, insurance,
Yeah.
inventory costs, marketing
Yeah.
costs. You know,
Yes, the lion's
walk us
share
through
of the
that.
problems too. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think, well, entrepreneurship, I think, is just kind of in my blood. My parents were in the food industry and they owned restaurants and bars. And so I kind of grew up around this business environment. And yeah, I think it was a lot of just like recognizing my own kind of power in things when I started to really have a platform online, and I was either going to continue working for someone else and not really making the rules, or go out on my own and really kind of like be my own boss and keep doing what I was doing, but kind of reaping the benefits. But yeah, it definitely comes with a lot of issues too, and like figuring things out. And I think a lot of it for me has been trial by fire, and just really every day there's a new something else to figure out and learn, and a lot of troubleshooting. But yeah, I just try to kind of surround myself with people that are smarter than me, and if there's something I don't really know how to do, then we find someone that can help us do it. But yeah, it is a really big, that's the big leap, that initial one. Like, am I going to continue doing what I'm doing? Because I was doing well. Like, I was seeing lots of patients, I was bringing in lots of patients, I was busy, but I was kind of busy on for someone else. And so, yeah, the leap is scary, but once you're in it, it's really like there's no going back. Like you're in this, and you have to, if once you kind of make that decision to do it on your own, it takes an investment, a lot of investment, time, money, everything, your energy. So there's really, for me, it was like there's no, I have to win, I have to make it because I've invested so much in it, and I'm betting on myself, and I know like I can do it.
Did was there? Did you have a mentor that you had a conversation with that's like, yeah, you should do it. You have entrepreneurship in your
Hmm.
genes, your spirit. You know, you have the mental capacity, you have the tenacity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, I mean, there's been lots of people in my life that are encouraging, and I definitely, even just like my own family, my husband, like everybody kind of has to be on board when you go into something like this, because you need a lot of
Yeah.
help and you need everybody to be on board with it. Um, I would go to these conferences too. I think the like moment that kind of hit me was, I would go to these conferences and I was hanging out with all these other really incredible injectors that had their own space and had their own businesses and were doing really big things. And they were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why are you working for someone else? Like, look at what you can build on your own. So, yeah, I definitely think it takes a lot of people around you to be like, you can do this, and this is how it's done. And there's a lot of blueprints too out there too. Like you can find, there's a lot of people doing this. Like there's a med spa almost on every corner now, and in a lot of cities, even in St. Louis. So yeah, there's a lot of like blueprints out there, and I think I learned that too from social media. Is you kind of, in a way, you copy paste a little bit. Like you see what's working for other people, and then you try your own version. And I think business is a lot like that too, where you take what's working from what you're seeing and then kind of adapt it to your own business or your own platform.
Was it since you had such a robust social media following? It sounds like you were having more patient creation, lead generation, patient acquisition
Hmm.
into the historical practice, your old practice.
Yeah.
Did that also help? Because you knew that you were, I don't know what your agreements looked like or anything. Typically, there's
Hmm.
non-competes, but
Hmm.
was it was it easy for you to say, okay, I'm going to go find a spot. Maybe I'll make an announcement on social media. Are they going to find me? They're going to follow me because there's loyalty there.
Yeah.
Were you banking on that connectivity and trust as a provider with your patients?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it always kind of baffles me sometimes when providers will like go right into ownership, like they'll open their own spot before they've really kind of been an injector for a while, which I think is amazing. Like if you've got the guts to do it, like go for it. But for me, I don't understand how you can do that because you do need that, at least for me, I needed that patient base. And I had been an injector for almost 8 years before I even kind of thought about doing something on my own. So I had these long-term patients, but you definitely do have to bank a little bit that people will follow you. But I was kind of actively seeing that this was working. Like I'm bringing in new patients to these practices every week, and my schedule is people that I've either known for a long time that started with me when I first started as an injector, or they're finding me on social and I've had people come in like, I've been following you for a year and I've been like waiting to come see you. So I knew that there was something there. But yeah, I think it would be tremendously harder to start something without that foundation initially.
Yeah, I agree. You make a really good point. Like sometimes I have to, in my previous life, I mean, I'm talking, this will date me as well. Shoot, maybe, geez, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I got out of college, I got into real estate,
Hmm.
and I was quite successful at it. Built a team, built a
Hmm.
technology company, sold it to NRT. Um, but it's almost like a real estate agent going through real estate school and then wanting to become a broker versus an agent. It's like you got to work for
Exactly.
someone first,
Yeah.
understand it, build up a base, build up a client base, and
Hmm.
then maybe in a few years go open up your practice or your real estate brokerage. So yeah, that you make that makes a tremendous amount of sense. Build up your
Hmm.
base, learn
Hmm.
what to do, what not to do,
Hmm.
and then when the time is right, So I'm sure throughout that journey, though, there was probably some things that maybe you didn't think through, right? Or not think
Yeah.
through, but prepare, understand, right? Becoming provider to practice owner, and maybe I've
Hmm.
used miswords there, not think through, but being an entrepreneur, it's challenging. Things come up
Yeah.
that maybe we didn't anticipate, right? So I guess my question to you is, what was the biggest thing that you underestimated about running a medical aesthetics
Hmm.
practice when you opened to running it? What was that? What was the biggest
Oh my
challenge?
gosh. Yeah. I think it's yeah, it's incredibly overwhelming when you first start. Because I mean, at least for me too, I was the really great thing about being an injector and working for someone else is like you walk in and all the supplies are there, and there's someone answering the phone, and there's someone paying the bills to keep the lights on. So I think it definitely is a little overwhelming when you first start and you walk in, and like the brick and mortar space that I came into, it was an old like Ed Jones office. There was nothing in here. It was disgusting. It hadn't been renovated for like 10 years. And I walked in and
Some
like,
old
oh,
guys, some
yeah.
old guys there that have been sitting
Yeah,
in desks for
yeah.
years.
They weren't the most stylish people here.
Wow, Edward
Um,
Jones to aesthetics. I love it.
I know. Yeah, so I walk in and like, wow, we're gonna have to like turn this into medical practice, and like, how do we even do that? I had never read a commercial lease before.
Mm.
All of these things were new. So, yeah, I think you just have to be really open about being okay with not knowing how to do everything. Like I know aesthetics. I know how to fill a lip. Like I know how to do a great tox treatment. but I don't know anything about a triple net lease or like, all of that, the liability insurance and hiring and firing and all of this stuff. So I think it's just recognizing like where your skill set is and then where you struggle. And those areas that you struggle, you need help. You need like good people around you to kind of guide you. Because yeah, you can't be good at everything. But sometimes when you're an owner, you have to at least be okay at everything because you're gonna have your hand in all of it. But yeah, there's definitely like every day was something new that I had to kind of figure out. And yeah, some days it's like I don't know all the answers. I don't know how to fix this or which way we should go. But some of it too is just like trusting your gut, betting on yourself again and again, and knowing like you've come this far, like you can figure it out day to day. But like yeah, there's so many pieces to it that um, you're not prepared for as when you're working as an employee. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, well said. I mean, it's going from Edward Jones to having to remodel it. You obviously having a vision, having a leap of faith, having a tremendous
Mhm.
amount of courage, and then the commercial agents like, would you want to go triple net
Yeah.
on this thing, or
Yeah.
what are you thinking? You're like, triple who?
I'm like,
Triple
can
what?
you speak in English, please? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
great. Whatever. Like,
yeah, yeah. Let's triple it up. You can do a
yeah.
double. Let's do that. No,
Yeah.
I it's there's so many acronyms when it comes to running a business. Then you have to learn like what is P&L, balance
Uh-huh.
sheet,
Uh-huh.
margins, utilization rates,
Yes.
click through, like all the it's a lot.
Oh,
It's very
it's a
demanding.
lot. Yeah, and people kind of throw it at you. Like yeah,
Hmm.
where's your P&L? And L? And I'm like, oh, a what? I'm sorry. And you have to be okay with sometimes being like, I don't know what you mean. Can you explain what that means? And I think I've gotten better at that initially. Like your gut instinct is like, oh yeah, 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 my P&L, like I'll get that to you. And meanwhile, I have no idea like what they're talking about. But I think as you get a little further in, you can't make mistakes just because you're too afraid to kind of say like, yeah, I don't know what that means, or like, can you
That's right.
explain that more to me? So that definitely has been part of the growth of being more of an owner. You have to be okay with being stupid about some stuff. Like I don't know everything and I'm not going to know everything. I didn't go to business school, so there's going to be things that I don't know how to do. But being open to asking people, getting help, advice, that definitely is a part of the day to day because every day is something new.
It is, but if we were to rewind 36 months ago, your business acumen has grown tremendously in the past
Mhm.
3 years,
Oh my gosh,
right? So
yeah.
it's a fun journey, and also the amount of information that you've learned,
Hmm.
is incredible. You can pass down to your kids, you can talk to your husband about it.
Yeah.
It's a whole new avenue. So I have a
Hmm.
tremendous amount of respect for that. It's not easy to do, and
Yeah.
you're right. You have consultants, or you have CPAs, or you have business
Hmm.
advisors, financial advisors, real estate
Hmm.
agents, throwing all these like words, big words or little words, whatever. They're acronyms. They
Hmm.
come out of their mouth like because that's their area of expertise,
Yeah.
and expect the owner to know that. And you're like, look, I'm like a 3-day owner here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, how are things now, right? So before I
Hmm.
move on to you as a provider, I think the last point on the business is going through that journey
Hmm.
is when you look at your team structure, I'm sure now you have a CPA, maybe you have a business advisor, maybe you have a
Yeah.
financial advisor,
Check,
you
check,
probably
check.
have providers. Check, check, check. You got a marketing
Hmm.
person. So,
Hmm.
what does your team stack look like right now?
Yeah. Well, the good news is that it's growing. Like, yeah, I started day one, it was just me, like trying to figure
Yeah,
this out. My very first spot, like Face Forward opened in a 200 square foot little salon suite. It was a My Salon suite. And it was just me. I was the front desk. I was answering the phones. I was I was doing everything, checking out all of this stuff. Um, building the website, like doing all those things. And now, yeah, I have someone that can kind of help with everything. So I have a nurse injector, and that was kind of a newer thing for me too, because I'd never had another provider working under me. So we have a nurse injector, we have two estheticians, a front desk person. I have a marketing, she's kind of a marketing and also like my right hand man sort of thing. She works completely virtually with me. So Bailey,
Nice.
her first name is Bailey. She lives in Colorado, but she kind of handles a lot of the social media for the practice. I still do all my own social media, but that side of things, like just recognizing where the gaps are and where you're kind of dropping the ball, I would bring someone in. So yeah, we have CPAs, we have everybody now kind of working, and yeah, growing and trying to figure out like who's next, like what do we need next,
Yeah.
who do we need to bring on and where are the gaps. So yeah, I think the team is constantly kind of changing and growing, which is a good thing. It's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, delegate. You have to delegate so you can focus on, patient experience. You can focus on outcomes because you're still very
Hmm.
active right now in
Yeah.
terms of seeing patients, right? How many patients do you see a day?
Oh
About.
gosh. Oh man, I see probably like 8 to 10 patients a day. Some of my treatments are longer. I spend a lot of time actually with new patients. Like my initial consultations are 45 minutes long. So
Okay.
most days I'm seeing maybe 8 to 10 patients and we're building long-term plans. So new patients, like last month I saw I think around 35 new patients, which is crazy because that's about like one new person a day. And then I have this book
Yeah.
of patients that has grown in the 10 years that I've been an injector. So I'm seeing all my established patients and then a lot of new patients every day still too. So yeah, it's hard sometimes to work on the business when you're working in the business as much as I am. So that's been something I've been trying to really kind of work through and figure out more recently, like how can I take a step back because the whole thing was kind of built on me and my brand.
Yeah.
So like how do I step away now from these patients that I've been seeing for a decade and kind of hand them off like here's my injector. She's trained by me. She does
Trained
everything
by me.
the way that I do it, but she's not me. So
Yeah.
that's been really tricky more recently to kind of figure that out, but like we'll figure it out.
Yeah. You're like, this is Molly Bailey squared.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
She may have different hair than me, maybe
yeah,
different smile, but she is trained by my technique. You're gonna get the same
yes,
outcome,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I can
But like
understand the
I get
challenge of
it.
that.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Like
It
if you
is hard.
see like a hair person for 10 years and she's like, here's my protege, like I'll see you later. You're like, no. Like what do you mean?
You're leaving me.
Yeah. What did I do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You have to do
that's
it in such a way to where you're like, no, I'm actually helping you. She's better than me, right?
yeah,
She's
yes.
she's better than me. In fact, like she's got this little thing with her hands. I don't know what it is, but she does my work.
Yes.
There you go.
And she's cheaper than me.
And she's cheaper. There you go. Right.
Yes.
So no, I
Yeah.
mean, I hear that all the time. It's I have a close friend that has a practice in Minnesota, Maple Grove. Phenomenal practice, just a great lady and great brand. And what you're saying is such a common theme. And I've seen her go through it. And I've talked to so many practice owners, and it's because the whole marketing thing is built on you. It's who you are. You build a
Yeah.
relationship with the patient. You have that trust. You have that rapport. I'm sure the conversations when the door is closed, who knows what comes out of these gals' mouth, right? It's a therapy
Right.
session, right? Like
Oh my
it's
gosh,
just
yeah.
it's it's what it is. I mean,
Sometimes more than
uh, more than
an aesthetic appointment, it's a therapy a session.
it's a
Yeah.
therapy session. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, dark secrets come out. I don't know. It's just their
Totally.
yeah. But it's then you're like, okay, I need to, like you said, is one of the things I found on your website is you're not just a filler injector, right?
Mm-mm,
You
mm-mm,
truly focus on regenerative aesthetics
mm-hmm,
specialist. Right when
mm-hmm.
you said your consultation's 45 minutes, I know that with my experience, that's a very robust consult.
Hmm.
You're building out a treatment plan. You're building out a long-term outcome because they're going to age every day. I don't know
Hmm.
what that looks like. I'd like to learn more about what that consultation approach is.
Yeah.
Um, but it's my sense is this is a collaborative environment, and I'm
Hmm.
sure that they're investing more because of the consult process. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's my PA background too, because I
Hmm.
mean, when in school, you're kind of there in place of the doctor and you have to kind of get to the bottom of it, and this is your patient. And PAs are often, even in like the hospital setting, they're allowed more time with patients and it's very patient centric. So I carried that in for sure into the aesthetic space. And I think a lot of people feel, a lot of my patients, and especially new people that I talk to, they feel like they go to these med spas and they're like Botox farms where it's just like in and out. They're not really like it's a 15-minute appointment. They're not really getting at why the patient's even there. And a lot of them
Yeah.
are there for way, way more than just like, I don't like this frown line. So the consult really is like, what are your long-term goals? Why are you here? Because it takes a lot to make an appointment. You're putting down a deposit for them to see me. They put down $125, which I realize is a lot for some people. Um, so they put a lot of effort to come in there, and then they're sitting in that chair and kind of unveiling all the stuff that they don't really like about themselves, which is a really hard thing to sit down with a stranger and just kind of pour out, like, I really don't like this about myself. So we kind of dig a little deeper, like, why are you here? Because you've made a big effort to be here and you've already invested a little bit just to come sit in my chair. So obviously you want to be here and you want a plan. I also think people are very bombarded now with information, and especially with social, there's so much out there. There's so much misinformation too. And people come in and they're just confused and they just want someone to tell them this is what you need. This is kind of the blueprint. This is how I've treated all of these other patients before you, and it works. The process works if you trust the process. So I lay that whole process out. Like, this is a long-term treatment plan. This could take up to a year to get through all of this, but we're gonna kind of cover everything. And it's really about healthy skin. It's about slowing down the aging process. That's really what regenerative aesthetics is about, slowing things down, regenerating, getting rid of damage. We're not just band-aiding over things. So I kind of explain my process is different, and I get that. Like, this is probably very different than where you've been before, but this works for us. And if you invest in it, you will see the benefits. But it could take months, it could take years before we get to that goal point, but we really dig deep and find what is that goal for you, and then this is how we get there. So
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
comprehensive.
It's comprehensive, and I know that they value it.
Yeah.
I've been on the other side of that as a patient, Molly. I have,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
maybe I'm not the best patient, but I go 4 or 5 times a year. I guess
Yeah.
that's maybe
That's
okay
pretty good, I think.
for. I'm a dude. I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
we're not as good as the gals, but like I can tell you, I've had just the, oh, come in, okay, look at you for a minute, okay, we're gonna
Mhm.
hit you here, we're gonna hit you. They've said sevens, your 12s, your 14s. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
What
that
are
that's
those
like a
things?
spot in the and my forehead needs a lot of work because it's like a five head, but they, it's but I'd never get like this 45-minute conversation,
Mm-mm.
and truly, if I was to sit down with a provider like yourself, you're going to unpack really like what's going on and what are your goals, and probably get
Yeah.
to that emotional connection,
Totally. Because it
where
is.
I am
Yeah.
40 now, and I'm trying to,
Mhm.
continually look young and look good, decent on camera and at
Yeah.
shows and all that stuff, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and
I just think they
everybody's
don't ask the
got
right questions.
no. Yeah, like no, a lot of people don't even ask like, what's your end goal here? Like, because it never is just like this one line. It's always like, and it's an emotional thing too, to kind of change your appearance or even to just talk about your appearance. And a lot of it is tied to life stuff. Like I'm a new mom and I don't feel good about myself. I'm postpartum and I just want to like feel better. A lot of it is that just not even they don't even care about what they actually look like. It's I want to feel good. I want to feel confident when I walk in a room and yeah, so it's a lot more than just like doing 30 units. And again, like you said, they don't know what that you don't know what that means. Like I'm gonna treat your glabella, and some people don't even like what's a glabella. Yeah, so we
Awesome.
really kind of like go through it, and this is how we do things. We do it differently, and if that doesn't work for you, that's okay too. Like there's no pressure. Yes, you made a deposit, but like I'll return that deposit if we decide that this isn't the right. It's a relationship. It's a two-way street. Like you have to buy into it, and I have to buy into it too. So yeah, if they don't if they decide like this isn't really what I want, I do want to look treated, I want to have overfilled lips and look like that's fine, but I can't really like that's not me. That's I can't give that to you. That's not the kind of aesthetic that I provide. So yeah, it's really kind of like getting in there and making sure that that relationship's going to work before you invest in this adventure that could be up to a year long and then up to 10 years long for some people. Like I might see you
Yeah.
forever going forward.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that it's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think does that come natural to you? Because here's a common theme that I'm hearing.
Hmm.
PAs, based on your schooling and your background, seem to have a much more natural approach to helping a patient solve a problem.
Yeah.
At least this is the theme I'm hearing. Versus like an NP seems to
Hmm.
struggle with that, and this is a theme. I'm not like no,
Yeah, yeah.
down talks on NP. It's just a theme I'm hearing on conversations of NP seems
Hmm.
to have a hard time thinking like, well, I'm not here to sell,
Hmm.
and I think
Yeah.
it's like that lens, that mind shift, that needs to shift, right? In the sense of
Hmm.
we don't want to be sold to, but I'm desperate for information and I'm
Hmm.
desperate for transformation. Desperate, truly.
Absolutely. Yeah, desperate, literally desperate when they come in, some people and yeah, and you have to tease that out a little bit. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think that's the tricky part too. I definitely think having more of that medical background and not just going like working in the ER and stuff, it was short-lived because it wasn't my cup of tea, but like having all those clinical rotations in every area of medicine, you're kind of seeing all the facets of the medical side. But the big thing that I think people overlook when they go from medicine, and I think maybe this is where like how PAs are a little different from NPs, is they started in the nursing side, and a lot of them have been nurses for a really long time before they decide they want to get into aesthetics. And it's a completely different world. Like there is a part of that business sales side where a consultation, yes, it's a medical visit, but it's an opportunity for the practice to sell treatments and to sell the plan
Yeah.
and to sell that idea. So
Yeah.
you kind of do have to have a little bit of that sales, as much as it's like icky to say that because it's medicine at the end of the day, but there is a piece to that, and especially when you take ownership of it, you know the ins and outs of the business and how much it costs just to open the door every day. So
Right.
a new patient, that potentially is a lot of revenue for your business. So you have to kind of treat it that way too. And that I think is sometimes where there's a disconnect when you're coming from bedside at the hospital to now you're doing a consultation, which is at the end of the day, like it's a sales pitch a little bit, like to some degree.
Yeah. 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 You're selling the idea. I mean,
Hmm.
it's having a discovery session with somebody,
Hmm.
understanding, where you can solve the problem, where you can solve the gap. You lean in on your
Hmm.
expertise. You get to the emotional aspect of the conversation. Say, well, here's the plan. Here's the roadmap. Like, here's the
Hmm.
playbook for you to get to point B. It's going to take a few visits. You're going to do these services, these treatments.
Hmm.
Here's what we're doing today. We can start to do. You have to. You look for the audience, guys. You have to understand that you're not. You don't have to be cheeseball Charlie.
Mm-mm.
Salesperson. You
Mm-mm.
have to be an expert. It's expertise compounded by your skill set, delivering the outcome and the idea, the emotional idea that you're going to achieve your results, but you have to be bought in. I'll be bought in with you as your coach, as your
Mhm.
injector, but
Mhm.
you have to be bought in as well. And what that does, Molly, is it creates this long-term relationship like
Yeah.
immediately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's where like I hope that on that just quick segment that you guys hung through that, because that's where
Mhm.
the focus needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think social media helps a little bit with that too, because now they feel like they know me before they even walk in the door. And so it makes that first interaction a little bit, there's a little pressure there because the side of me that's on social media is a little different than the one that they're going to get in the office. Because here I'm in work mode, like I'm a PA, I'm doing cosmetic dermatology. And on social, I'm talking about celebrities and being funny and goofy and whatever. But it does help create that very initial relationship is built before they're even in the door. So that part too is a little, it makes it easier in some ways and then harder in another.
Yeah, true. I mean, they can kind of get an idea of your personality, who you are, see
Yeah.
your work, build
Hmm.
trust, know who you are before they see you, and then look at your Google reviews or whatever, and kind of
Yeah.
validate, check all the boxes. If
Yeah.
you have your online presence built in a very successful way, you've taken it seriously, you've worked it with intent, it works to your advantage. And so, actually, I want to
Hmm.
talk to you about that because
Yeah.
your social media is when I'm on your page right now. By the way,
Hmm.
for you guys, you definitely should follow her. It's Bailey Bougie. She's
Haley's
Bailey Bougie.
bougie. Yeah.
She's got Bailey's Bougie with an S. Bailey's Bougie. It's she's got 147,000 followers. We have 80 mutual followers. I don't know how
Oh,
we've never hung out, but
I know.
uh, it's gonna come. I mean, I know
Yeah.
so many of these people that you follow. But it's celebrity focused. Like I'm not looking
Yeah.
at your stories right now. I'm looking at all your posts. So walk us
Yeah.
through that. It's just it's different than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, yeah, I was kind of honestly when I started it, I was bored of the before and afters. I'm like, I don't want to see one more injector page where it's just somebody's lips because honestly, like that's their lips. That will never be my lips. And I can bring
Hmm.
this photo in and show my injector that result, but that's never going to be your result. And frankly, I was just bored of it. I've always been into the like pop culture. I'm like a big Bravo fan. I watch all the like Housewives, and I was like, why can't we like talk about that? Because everything, aesthetics is in everything, and especially in Hollywood and media, aesthetics is everywhere. So how do we tap into that? Like this is what when I'm not working, this is what I'm doing. I'm watching junk TV. Like how can we like incorporate that because there is a link. Like all of these celebs, they're doing things every single day. They've got a whole team of people making them look that way. And so
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to look like that, yeah, this is what they're doing. And they're doing all of these things that we also can offer. Like we have these treatments in the office, but I think there's a lot of like stigma with it still with plastic surgery and aesthetics online. And so I kind of wanted to build a space where we break that a little bit. Like we don't need to cover up and hide what we did. We don't need to
Right.
like lie and say we woke up like this because we didn't. And so yeah, that's kind of where it started. And then I think that message really resonated with people. And it grew very quickly. So yeah, but I try to keep it fun. Like it should be fun. It's entertainment. Like that's what social media is about. It should be entertaining. So
Yeah.
yeah, I try to make it really different. And I have a practice page. Like my practice page
Sure.
has my before and afters and like our aesthetic and our brand and our message. But Bailey's Bougie is like that's the fun piece of it. Like that's my alter ego sort of thing.
I love it. I mean, it's like there is some incredible before and after. So I'm looking at Ricky Martin, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
2006 and 2026 Damn. I mean, that's a
It's
20-year difference.
crazy. Yeah. And I don't think people realize like how much work went into that, like looking
Jeez.
that way after. 20 years. It's crazy. But yeah, it's really fun to kind of like link that to the aesthetic side. Like, here's what he's doing.
Mhm.
Like, he's doing this and this and this. He's microneedling and he's, like to have transformations like that, it takes a lot of work and a lot of, and yeah, it didn't happen just because they're special or they're celebrities and that's just how they look. Like, there's a lot of work there.
That's the disconnect, right? Oh, they're
Yeah.
a celebrity. They're a celebrity. It's
Yeah.
like
Like,
no, that's they age too.
yeah,
They age,
exactly.
but here's what they're doing. Yeah, I think that 20-year gap there is wild. Yeah, you also have face forward STL that shows all your work. It
hmm
shows before and after is what you do, your services, your treatments, patients raving about you, your skill set. Yeah, it's awesome.
hmm I call it like the social media mullet, like business up front, that's face forward, and then party in the back is Bailey's Fuji.
I love it. So true.
We got a little of both.
Well, you built an incredible brand, a very, very strong personal brand as well, which obviously, people engage. I mean, your engagements through the roof.
Yeah.
This is some of the biggest engagement I've actually ever seen. This is really neat.
Oh,
I
thanks.
follow you now, so now I'm an official
Cool.
follower.
Oh, thanks. Cool. Let me know what you think
But
about
you're
everything.
saying, yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna get my wife to follow you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she'll love it. No, this is great. And I think like when you're talking about building an Instagram and generating, like you said, 35 new patients a month. Last
hmm
month. I mean, there's 20 working days, so it's almost like a patient and a half.
hmm
In that month period. I would assume most of them come to you from the marketing, like they've
Yeah.
always done. And
Yeah.
so building up that personal brand, I mean, it's just like there is so much authority in building something up where you can post something and potentially get 150,000 eyeballs on it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like that's the big thing, like why aren't we have to harness that. Like this is I tell people that all the time, especially when I'm speaking about social media, is like this is a free marketing outlet that there's not really any other outlets that I can think of that many eyeballs is getting on to your direct message at a given moment. Like you hit post and potentially sometimes millions of people are seeing my posts and it's free. So like I don't know why we wouldn't kind of harness something like that. Like that's I don't really pay for a lot of advertising outside of that arena because I don't have to. And like that's kind of an amazing thing if you can build something like that. It's so valuable to our practice and like that's what built the practice is just having that platform. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's amazing. Like you have to use it. You have to be on it,
huge
whether you
asset.
want to or not. Like you have to do it because it's there.
I still hear, so many times, well, I don't like to get on camera, or I don't know what to post,
hmm
or I have a hard time understanding that because everybody is
Yeah,
unique.
yeah,
Everybody has the ability to be creative,
totally.
especially in aesthetics. I'm like, you're kind of an
Yeah,
artist. I don't know.
yeah,
You should come easier to you
absolutely.
than me.
Yeah, exactly. Like we create things every day, so it's an extension of that. So yeah, you have to have that like left brain side a little bit, and that's
Yeah,
definitely where mine comes out in the treatment room, but also like on social. That's where you can be a little bit more artistic and create content, and like it definitely kind of feeds another side of me.
hmm hmm
But yeah, yeah, no one likes to be on camera, by the way. Like, no one wants to
true.
have put that out there and have people dissect you and like the amount of mean, like, gross comments a day. Like, no one wants to open themselves up to that, but I mean that it's such a huge opportunity and like such a big door that you could open for yourself. So you have to kind of put that in the back. Like success is on the other side of cringe. I say that a lot. Like you have to be comfortable with being cringy and people seeing that side of you that you might not really show anyone other than your inner circle because everybody's got that too. Everybody's a little more alike than they are different, and they want to see that other side to people. And so, if you're able to kind of get past that initial
Yeah.
reflex where, like, no, I can't let someone see me this way,
Right.
That's where the following happens because people really kind of get to know the real you.
Yeah,
But
you're
yeah,
right. That's where the falling happens, and people just like you just have to not give a shit,
no, yeah,
because there's some jerks out there, there's some assholes,
yeah,
and I've had some people, hit me up in DMs or like say some stuff on my comments, and I'm like,
hmm
dude, you must just have the worst life,
yeah. You have
like
to
if
feel
that's
sorry
what
for
you did
them.
today, yeah,
Like, can you imagine going on someone you don't know and being like, "You're ugly and your kids suck," and like, I've never in my life had that like urge to go do that.
it's
So you have
crazy.
to just take it with a grain of salt. These are like deeply disturbed people, and like what they say does not matter. It really doesn't.
It doesn't, and I can tell you, like 9 out of 10 times. So sometimes I'll like click on the profile, and it's either private or it's like
Yeah,
20 people following. I'm like, is this a bot? Like, is this
it
even real?
probably, probably at this point.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's so I mean, to your point, yeah, I mean, it's you just have to not care, and you're right.
No.
Like no one loves to be on camera, no one loves to be on stage. Like it's
Mm,
always nerve wracking, but
yeah.
if you just don't care,
Hmm.
there's a massive unlock of opportunity there, and that's something that you've obviously done very well.
Hmm.
I mean, 35 new patients last month, guys. She's had her own practice for 3 years,
Yeah.
right? So 35 patients, that was last month,
Yeah.
and that's the unlock effect that Molly has done here, right? So I want to back up just for a second. I know you're super busy. I'll let you go here, but
No, no, yeah.
you have another provider.
Hmm.
You're obviously going through this position of, hey, you know what? I'm going to transfer this patient to you, this patient to you. You probably are going through your patient base, understanding who's best fit for continuing with you, who's best fit to go to the new provider that you have,
Hmm.
or maybe you've had it for a while. I'm not sure, but is that have you? Is she taking new patients, or is she just taking patients that you're handing to her?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. She's taking new patients, but yes,
Okay.
I'd say it's a little of both. Like there's definitely some spoon feeding, and I think naturally that's going to happen because all of the patients in our book started with me. Like there was no
Okay.
other option. So, unless they're coming in brand new, they've all seen me. And so, yeah, that's definitely been a tricky spot recently and just kind of figuring out how that works and like who is a better candidate to see. Kara's only been here for about 6 months, maybe. So, she's not new to injecting, but she's new to the practice. And so that's kind of hard
Right.
sometimes to explain. Like, no, she's very qualified and very experienced from what she's doing, but she's new to us. She's not new to this. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say it's a mix right now, but where I would love to see it eventually, like my goal, and hopefully it'll be sometime this year, but maybe next year is like closing my book completely and having all new patients see a provider that's here and not myself. But it's just going to take time for sure. Like it's everything with it takes time. There's nothing overnight.
Yeah, it takes time, and you get to you have to just continue working with what you have, and time will
Mhm.
pass. I guess
Mhm.
my question to build on that would be: have you spent a lot of time with her in the consult process?
Mhm.
So she runs a Molly Bailey,
Mhm.
your brand, how you run that consult.
Mhm. So she was like required when she started to shadow with me for months. My personal, when I came back to that plastic surgeon and I was coming in as a provider now, I didn't touch a patient for 3 months. Like I just followed the injectors around that were there and I went on every appointment with them and I was in the room and it was really uncomfortable because you're in these appointments and they're therapy sessions and all this stuff and you're kind of just standing there like I'm the idiot in the room like watching how this goes down. But it was so important because you have to learn all those nuances and I think the consult is the hardest thing to learn as a new injector for sure. By far, I think it takes years to get really good at it. And really kind of get your style and how you're going to run it because you're the captain in that appointment, like
Yeah.
in every appointment, but especially in that one. Like when they come in, you are leading the entire thing. So yeah, she definitely, that's going to be something I know will come with time. And she's seen a lot of my consults, and she still shadows. Like when she doesn't have patients, she'll come in my room and just observe. But yeah, I think for anyone, that's probably the hardest thing to learn. It's not the injection technique. Like you can learn that and you get muscle memory, but consults, it takes a long time to figure it out, and when to say no, and like you're not a candidate. I don't want to treat you. Like you're one that's going to bring more issues to me than good things.
Yeah.
Like that takes a long time to figure out and be willing to
That takes
say
scar
no.
tissue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
That's
Messing
like,
up. Yeah.
you're a crazy person. I
You're
know, I can
crazy.
sense a
Yep.
crazy person.
Yeah. You've got to have
Yeah.
that like little inner like, nope, this one is not going to be good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know crazy. When I see crazy, I know crazy.
Yeah.
You're fit in that category.
You are there.
Yeah. But it takes that scar tissue to see that, and it
Hmm.
takes a long time being, at the chair and seeing many patients to be able to sniff that out. So no, I think
Yeah.
that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess my last couple of thoughts here before we wind down would be, uh, where do you see aesthetics going? Where
Mm.
in the next 3, 5 years from now? I know, the big talk right now is peptides and
Yeah.
GLPs, and like I already like filler reduction, and
Yeah.
I think the science is outpacing the tech. But like, where do you, from
Hmm.
your lens, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think I think it definitely is going in a direction that I'm happy about. Like I feel like we are a little bit more on the cutting edge, just opening a regenerative practice where like patients will come in and I'll tell them like we really don't do like traditional filler. Like we are mixing it with PRP, or we're using biostimulators first or whatever it is. So I feel like we've been a little bit on the forefront, and hopefully it continues to kind of catch up to that. And I think it is. But where I kind of see it is a mixture of things with wellness and with the aesthetic side. So not only is it treating what's on the outside, but we're going more so like healthy skin also has a lot to do with your lifestyle and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, what you're putting in your body. Are you taking vitamins? Are you sleeping? Are you drinking water? All of those things. And we have that conversation too in our consultation, that if you're coming in and expecting, it's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym once and you lift some weights, you're not going to walk out with muscles. Like, so, and it's the same thing with regenerative treatments. We put Sculptra in or some biostim in, you're not going to see anything for 6 months. Like, truly see that change. So I think, yeah, I think it's going in that direction where we're treating the patient as a whole, and like peptides. Hopefully, all these things will catch up to with the FDA, because I think that you're totally spot on. Like the science is outpacing now, like what we're even able to do. Like we have all these amazing things that they're using in Europe and Asia, and we don't have them here because it won't go through the FDA. So I'm hoping that things will catch up and we'll have the data, but also like we have to be smart about what we're doing at this point. And if it isn't FDA approved, I don't do it. Like I just don't take on that liability. And I know, yeah, there's like missed revenue there, but I would rather be safe and have the data and have the science before we're just kind of like willy-nilly the newest thing, like, oh, this is the newest thing. We saw that a lot with PDGF, like people injecting it and then kind of backtracking when it maybe wasn't legal to do what we were doing. So I think it's important to kind of like stay at that edge, but also safety should kind of lead everything and lead the innovation side.
I
So
agree,
yeah,
100% agree. I mean, the stuff that I'm seeing right now is mind blowing.
yeah,
I'm like, well, where's the study on that?
yeah,
It's like I'm just hearing everything on that. On compound pharmacies that can get peptides, GLPs,
hmm,
and then you have research labs that can get all the additional peptides, the PBC
hmm,
157, the TV 500. You can stack it
hmm,
Wolverine. Like I've done a deep dive on it all, and I've
yeah,
used it all actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I'm like, literally last night I was having a conversation with my wife, and I'm like, what's weird is we're injecting ourselves with shit that actually I don't know where the studies are.
I know. It makes me it like ugh, it like gets me a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know they're really the science isn't quite there yet. So like I don't personally offer peptides here. We do GLPs if for the right
Hmm.
people. Um, but yeah, like stuff that's not, there's a difference between off-label and not FDA approved, and I think
Yes,
a lot of people need to kind of like re-study that a little bit because
I agree.
yeah, you can't just like willy-nilly inject people with stuff not knowing what the outcomes are, or if something bad happens, like you are the one that has to fix it. So if there is no study, like if you get a nodule, what are you doing with that nodule? Do you know how to fix that? Because if you don't, then you shouldn't really be in that arena yet.
Molly, I talked to providers that I'm telling you they are offering these peptides that are not on the compound list.
No, no.
You know, I mean, Samorlin's on the compound list, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
GLP,
And
like
there's
you
some,
can
there are
compound, like there's
some.
certain,
Yeah.
and there are some, right? And it's like, okay, well, and it's just this constant theme. It's like, well, no, I get it from a compound pharmacy, and I'm over here thinking, no, you don't.
No, you
No,
don't.
you can't.
No, like no, you don't. Like where actually is that coming from? I think you would be surprised. Like who knows
Yeah,
where
and the
that came
person selling
from?
it to them, either they're lying to themselves or the person selling
Uh-huh.
it to them is lying to them.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. There's no like
it's
safe
freaky.
chain. Yeah, it's scary. And like
Mm-mm.
that's when really bad stuff happens and then when that does happen and someone ends up in the hospital or God forbid like someone
Sure.
dies, then they're like, "See, look at this field. This whole field. There it's all snake oil." And so I think we just have to be really careful about what we're doing because this is a field of medicine and medicine is based on science. So like if it's not there, then you probably don't have any business injecting it.
Do you know who Dr. Soar is? Dr. Stephen Soar.
Yes,
He's out
yes,
of. He's out. I
yes,
mean, like I love what he's doing right now. I'm just like,
yes.
dude, thank you for spreading awareness. You know.
Thank you. Thank you. I know
Yeah,
when
he's
I
doing a
see
good
that
job.
online, I'm like, yes, like this is it. Like, listen up. Like, we're not there yet. We'll get there, but like, let's slow our roll a little bit because we're not there yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I've
Hmm.
really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, likewise.
You're incredible entrepreneur, incredible human being.
Oh, thank you.
Huge bright future, and you know, it's just
Thanks.
like may feel like you've been in it, but I feel like you're just getting started, and you're
Yeah.
really building up a massive enterprise.
Thank you so
Um,
much. Yeah, it's
yeah.
exciting.
And people, if you guys want to follow her, like I said, I think that you'll find it fun. I think you'll find it entertaining, and I think that you'll build an incredible relationship and rapport, whether it's online or whether you see her at a conference or if you're a patient and you see her at the practice. But Molly, thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you.
Again, it's Bailey's Bougie is her IG. You can also go to her website, which is faceforwardstl.com. She has a beautiful website there. Go check it out. But Molly, thank you for joining. I'll leave it at
Thank you.
that. Until next time, happy injecting.